Всем привет! Меня зовут
Hi everyone, my name is Dmitry Skolarov, and this year I'm
организации программы конференции Positive Hack
managing
Days.
the Positive
И
Hack
мы бы хотели бы
Days
поговорить о том, изменения, которые
organization.
произошли в организации конференции,
Now I
технических
wanted
конференций
to say a couple of words on the
в последние годы.
changes that
Конференции
happened
повторяют
to various technical
Вдовушкин, он подключается к нам
conferences.
удаленно.
In the last years,
Это
Nikita
человек,
Vdovishkin is going to
который
connect to us
занимается
remotely. He is
подготовкой
the person who is
для
looking for
конференции ОЗОН.
presentations
Второй доклад
for the zone conferences. My other
относился
guest is
к
Dmitry
организации
Yevdokimov.
конференции Zero
He
Nights. И, соответственно,
organizes Zero
в
Nights,
программном комитете
and
знаменитый третий гость
he is on the
Горелов
program committee of Zero Nights. And the third guest is Dmitry Gorelov, who is one of the key persons to collect the presentations for Crypto conference. They are the four best conferences, technical conferences in Russia and probably even in the world. So the question goes to everyone. In the last 2 years, since the outbreak of COVID and then the sanctions that followed, what changed in your perception as people who are looking for presentations? Presentations got better, they got worse, they became different. Let's start with Dmitry. Thank you, Dima. No, it didn't get worse, especially COVID created a certain vacuum in our communication and face-to-face conferences once they became possible. They provided a possibility for people who are missing each other to see each other. Usually, a conference lasts or repeats itself year after year, and a conference is a platform where people meet and they talk to each other and they share the news. So we now have just one problem. It's more difficult to bring people from other countries, but Russians love to travel to conferences. They are happy to do it, and they're also happy to make presentations. And they've got, well, thanks to 2020, they've got things that they want to talk about now. What about you, Dima? Well, first we need to go into the background of Zero Nights. First, we had two technical tracks on the main stage of Zero Nights, but about 4 years ago, we changed the format. Now we have only one track on the main stage, the main track. That's why, I mean, what can I say? To find good technical content is now difficult. Before the COVID and during the COVID, and always, I mean, in all times, in all ages, good technical content has always been a challenge. Even if you look at the leading technical Western conferences like Advanced Con or Recon or Power of Community, all of them have just one track, several days, but one track, which is good. That it means that everyone can watch all presentations, not miss anything, and also the presentations. I mean, you need fewer presentations for just one track. Good content is worth gold.
ни в 2020, ни в 2021 году,
If I'm not mistaken, your conference was not held neither in 2020 nor in 2021. What about now?
все нормально.
What happens to your speakers this time around? Well, actually, we are the youngest conference of all present here, and every year we are facing new challenges. In the first or second year of our existence, no one knew us and no one wanted to come to us because no one knew us. And then the third conference, we collected all the presentations. They were all in the Excel file. I remember feeling so satisfied looking at this Excel file. And then we had to cancel the conference. And then I saw that some of these presentations would be still made, but at other events and in other years. As to our current conference, we haven't collected many presentations, but only when the conference happens, we'll be able to say anything about the content, actually. So yes, we have a lot of difficulties with international speakers. We are still not sure whether we would like to try a remote speaker format, but I know that there are many people who would love to come to an offline conference, and They want to present, they want to meet the community.
Ну вот, если мы заговорили про
Thank you.
понятно, что
Well,
с состоянием ковида,
since you mentioned online,
ну, на самом деле, Рускрипта выкрутил.
with COVID in 2020, Ruscripta, you twisted out of it. You managed to have your conference in 2020 and 2021, while the other three conferences were not held in 2021.
То есть вот
Have you tried organizing an offline, completely offline event? All our speakers in November at the standoff were offline, they were remote, and all the viewers were remote. You are talking to the speakers and you help the content reach the listener. What do you think about online presentations? Dima Yevdokimov, let's start with you now.
Могу сказать, что организаторы никогда не любят онлайн.
Well, I can say that organizers hate online presentations because, I mean, you have always trouble with the connection. There can be all kinds of failures. And statistically, people tend to watch less presentations online just because they know everything has been recorded and they can view the content later. At every conference, the greatest value is a good communication
Отвечаю, что
on the margins of a conference. Then why do we need still strong technical content? But still strong technical presenters attract the audience. They attract high quality audience. That's why you really need a strong technical content for the conference to be attended by strong participants.
я тоже считаю,
Well, that's exactly how I think. I also believe that if you have very good speakers on the site, not on the list, but on the site, is a great driver for the growth of the community. People will come to the community, they will come to the industry, they will develop the industry. So that's why I don't like online presentations, not as an organizer, nor as a speaker myself. When you speak online, it's a completely different feeling. When you talk to a camera, to a screen, you do not feel any vibrations from the audience. Dima, what do you think about online presentations?
потому что я
I'm even more critical of them than you. Ruscript is we started back in the previous century, and we are probably the longest standing annual conference in Russia. The first event, one of the first event out of which this event came out, was held in 2010. The PhD was the first and originally held at a Ruscripta conference. So we are grandfathers probably for the younger generation, but for us emotionally, it's more difficult to switch online. It's not working for us. I still believe that when you have a good speaker,
набор информации, который нужен широкому кругу, это очень полезно. Но
a speaker who shares information that is valuable for a larger audience, well, it's still worth an effort. But again, you have to make an effort. You have to make a recording in a good studio so that you can later distribute the content along different channels. It can be done outside of a conference. You don't need a conference for it, right? You can prepare content. You can ask different experts to do it and then use it for education, use it for training. A good studio can provide good quality of the recording, and an online presentation will be difficult to achieve the same kind of quality.
я за то, чтобы
So I'm all in favor of studio recordings. If it's online, then make a recording. It will not be an online presentation really. It will be video content that will share the good news with the wider audience. Did you have any online speakers this year at Ruscripta? Yes, we had French people who tried. It didn't work well, really. Yeah, we had speakers online.
без спикера
So you had the audience in the room and the screen in the room. We thought about this format and then we decided against it. We thought it was not comfortable for the viewer. What sense does it make for the participant to come to a room if you can stay at home and pour yourself a glass of wine and watch the video recording? Well, in our case, it was not possible. It was an online-offline event. The conference is special. We did not make a recording. It was Eric's presentation. He organized the competition for the participants who are interested in cryptography. It was a real-time competition, really. It was an opportunity to make a presentation using video presentation. Yeah, the same with Eric's here. You can watch his presentation online. It was pre-recorded, but we will not be broadcasting Eric's presentation today or tomorrow here. Nikita, what do you think about online speakers? In the past, if a speaker cannot attend for whatever reason, the speaker is sick, the speaker cannot leave the location for whatever reason. As an exception, one speaker for a 2-day program maybe would be presenting online. What about this year? What are your plans? Are you going to have any online presenters, or are you trying to avoid that? We are trying to avoid that. At the moment, we have a list of offline speakers. Again, a conference, it doesn't boil down to presentations. You need to give people an opportunity to socialize. We organize the competition. And during the finals, the teams played, and then we decided to make an after party. We did a Discord, we organized rooms where people could talk to each other, and still we felt it was not enough. The teams were at their homes, and it wasn't very emotional, if you know what I mean. People were feeling kind of burnt out, if you know what I mean. So we will do our best to have an offline component to our conference, unless there are some technical difficulties with bringing people online. I mean, people couldn't travel or whatever, then of course we will make a backup and we will let people speak online, but we are aiming for an offline conference. Right, thank you. And now to go back to the biggest current problem for the Russian conferences, foreign speakers. Foreign speakers on the Russian stage. We have always been inviting foreign speakers. It's wonderful when people from other countries can come. You can showcase your content, they bring their content. But then COVID hit, then it was difficult to fly, and now people are afraid of coming for political reasons. The employers are not letting people travel to Russia. Some other people are just afraid of traveling inside Russia and do not want to come. How much will conferences lose since we started to lose foreign speakers? We are going to lose a lot. Today, I was looking at our program and I saw that we didn't have any foreign names. And I know that in your program, you do not have many foreign names or any foreign names. There are countries that are still traveling to Russia, like in Asia. Let's rely on them, I guess. And actually, one other thing about online, COVID accelerated certain processes. Environmental processes. You know that some companies introduce quotas on CO2 emissions. People are trying to fly less, not only for reasons of, traveling to particular destinations or being infected with COVID, but there are also environmental concerns that stop people from traveling. Okay, got it. Dima, how many foreign speakers did you have in earlier years, and how many do you have now at Ruscrypto? Well, there aren't that many encryption specialists who are friends with the Russian market. Well, usually the French. In good old days, we also had the Chinese, but they would never speak. They would come, but they would never speak in the good old days. But in recent years, mostly we had speakers from the CIS because our conference is so special, so specialized. In many cases, cryptography is equal to weapons, and the countries
Там есть
They have very little of their own domestic cryptography. There are geopolitical aspects to the issue, but the Europeans, we had Europeans at our conference, never Americans. A couple of years ago, there was Eurocrypt, but no, that was longer than in the last 5 years. We've only had speakers and participants from the CIS, and also we had French guests. But it would be wonderful if cryptography would be somehow reloaded, would be resurrected. You can't be isolated. You can't be isolating yourself forever. It's a dead end.
Наверное, было процентов 70.
We had about 70% of all the speakers at our first conference from foreign lands. We have always tried to make sure that we would have more Russian speakers as well.
Вот.
We wanted to have more researchers in Russia. And year after year, we started to receive more interesting and strong technical content, and the share of Russian speakers grew year on year. We were happy about that. It's difficult with logistics and everything to bring in foreign speakers.
Ковидного года понятно, у нас не было вообще ни
During COVID, we did not have a single foreign speaker. We were offline, no one could travel. We postponed the date several times. We planned to have international speakers, but then they couldn't come, and then we decided against online. I agree
коллегами, что
with my colleagues that isolation is a bad thing. And usually you would like to see another person's perspective. You want to see the perspective of other specialists. Offline communication, you learn a lot during offline.
Но я надеюсь, что это продлится, недолго.
Well, I hope it will not last.
К нашим конференциям относятся очень хорошо.
And I know that
Они считают одними из лучших.
our conference has a good reputation in the world. Russian engineers have always been valued internationally. They too want to exchange their experience. Not like they come here and only give off their experience. They learn as well.
Английский перевод.
And we always invite translators. They support our conferences.
Каждого по 30 секунд.
Okay, we only have a couple of minutes left. So it means 30 seconds per each of you, per each speaker.
Грозит ситуация, что нам нечего будет представлять.
Is content hunger?
Я думаю,
Is what lies ahead?
во-вторых, я хотел
No, I don't think so.
мне очень рады, что за последние годы у нас сменился
I'm very happy that in the last year we also saw changes in the gender composition of the conference. People noticed that we have many more wonderful girls who are now into cryptography and system
видно невооруженным взглядом.
programming and very high-end information security. We have many more women now
И самое главное, красивых девушек.
speaking and attending our conference. Maybe it's my age speaking at the moment, but I now see more and more beautiful girls around me.
Конференция — это
No, I do not think that there will be any content hunger. Conference is food for thought. No, I agree. There won't be any content hunger. There will be more work. There will be more research areas. The industry is making progress, and there is clouds. There is, all kinds of technologies. There are all kinds of things that you can reverse, that you can study, that you can investigate. No, I do not expect any problems. Nikita, what do you think?
Ну, давайте я среди всех побуду скептиком, кто тоже должен.
Okay, I'll be the skeptic among you.
У нас, наверное, пару,
Yeah, I think that
1 или 2 года ожидает небольшим
in the next year or 2 years, we are going to fall back,
какими-то либо внутренними резервами.
that will fall down rather, and we'll have to set it off
Конечно же,
with internal resources and additional content. But the industry is expanding, and I'm sure that the number of high quality presentations will increase.
Спасибо, Никита. Ну и, наверное,
Thank you, Nikita.
подытожить то, что было сказано за последние
Okay, let me try to summarize what you've said in the last, say, 3 minutes. So yes, we had problems due to COVID. Yes, we still have problems with foreign speakers, international speakers, but we now have our own content. It's getting better year on year. There is some content hunger, but this will be overcome, and the future is bright. And we will continue organizing excellent conferences and bringing in
обществом.
wonderful participants and share the knowledge. Thank you for being with us. Thank you and good luck.